Hi, we are FTC team 1046 for the Bionic Tigers. This will be our 6th year as a team, and today we're going to just tell you a little bit about Motivate Award and our experiences with it. Okay, so the definition, at least from last year, of the Motivate Award is this team embraces the culture first and clearly shows what it means to be a team. This judged award celebrates the team that represents the essence of the first Tech Challenge competition through team building, team spirit, and displayed enthusiasm. This is a team who makes a collective effort to make first known throughout their school and community and sparks others to embrace the culture of first. And on the left, we have some bullet points of certain topics that really describe the essence of Motivate Award.
So gracious professionalism is a term that you're really going to want to get very comfortable with in first. It's really at the core of everything that first is centered around. And it's basically the idea that teams show respect and gracious professionalism to everyone they meet at First Tech Challenges. Volunteers, other teams, parents, referees, everyone. So the term was actually coined by Woody Flowers, who was a high-ranking first official who recently passed away last year. And it basically, one of his quotes is that gracious professionalism means that we learn and compete like crazy, but treat one another with respect and kindness in the process. And it really is everyone, like I said, everyone in the first events you're going to want to treat, and even in the real world. And basically what it is the idea that it's every team against the game and not against team versus team. So say you're in the pits and you need a spare part, you can go around to teams and they'll lend you a part instead of not lending you a part so they have an advantage against you in the next match. You're going to want to be supportive of each other and help each other out no matter what.
So there are a couple of things that you need to do that are required in order to be eligible to win this award. So again, these are from last year. We don't have the requirements for this year yet, but basically you need the team number on the front of your notebook. And you can see on the right, this is an example of our cover of our notebook from the previous season. You can have no more than 2 notebooks, and you have to have a team plan of some sorts, which covers goals and plans for the season. So this team plan could include robot game strategies, outreach to individuals outside of the STEM community, and team finances. And then some recommendations that we've just found really helpful over the years is clear documentation. Include visuals is really important because it makes it so much more appeasing than just a bunch of text. And make sure to record stats and numbers, especially if they're big, good numbers. That's always good, and it's sometimes easier to read than a lot of small text. So here are some examples of our documentation of our outreach. So on the left, we record every single outreach event on Google Sheets, so we can actually add up all of the hours and know exactly how many hours we have spent on outreach throughout the whole year, which is really helpful when you get to competitions because we can just easily look up the number and update some of our graphics. We also put things like people reached, what team members were there, and the date. So these 2 events were from last year, where we started a FTC summer workshop for some rookie and kind of first or second year teams. To kind of share our knowledge with them. And last year we did that in person, but this year over the summer, haven't really had that opportunity, but we still wanted to do it. So we decided to do our summer workshops over Zoom and we got a much wider audience because instead of just local teams coming, we could get teams from other states to come and connect with them, which is a really cool opportunity. So there are a lot of virtual outreach events that you can be doing. You just have to get creative, think out of the box. But it's something that's really cool for connecting with other teams. And then on the right, we write up an entry for every single outreach event. So we include visuals, obviously, make sure to take lots of pictures during your outreach event. We also include things like event overview, factual information about the event, where it is. We include stories that happened and in-depth event information, and most importantly, the impact. Now, the impact that we made on the community or that they made on us, and we can use that knowledge to take forward throughout the season.
So another requirement for the Motivated Award is that the team is an ambassador for FIRST programs. So an ambassador means that you are the connection between your community and FIRST Robotics. So think of that as being the model FIRST team that if you asked someone in the community, what is a FIRST team? Or do you know of a FIRST team? They would think of you first and all of the good things about you. Also make sure they know what FIRST is. So you got to really spread, what FIRST is and what is great about FIRST through using your team as an example. And that comes through, having a good presence in your community. Make your presence loud. Share your passion. So, share your passion for robots. So we did events that were open houses, and we had our demo bot there, and we shared it with little kids so little kids could learn about it. Obviously you couldn't do that this year because it's online. You could probably make videos and share them with local accounts, maybe even see if you get on the news or something. We use social media to connect with our school and our community and other FIRST teams. So when you're being an ambassador, you got the quantity of outreach and the quality of outreach. Those are two different things. So on one hand, you got quantity of outreach, and that's hours and number of team members involved. And not to say that that isn't important, but it's not nearly as important as having good quality outreach. If you just have a lot of mediocre or not great outreach, it's not going to be as impressive as a team that has, a few really good, memorable outreach events. So to have a good quality of outreach, you got to have purpose and variety. So every outreach event should have, a distinct purpose. It should be having an impact, an effect on the community, positive one, hopefully. And it should have variety. So it shouldn't all be the same thing. Just show passion for it in your presentation. So that's both, in actually doing your outreach and in writing it up and communicating it to the judges. Because even if you have the best outreach in the world, if you write up, yeah, we talked to some FIRST teams, it was cool, when really what you did was, hold workshops or, open forum with a bunch of different local teams. If you don't write that up well, it's not going to, have that impact on judges. And if you worked hard on something, you want it to have that impact on judges. A really important thing is having fun and connecting with these people. And if you have fun and if you make it fun for the people you are doing outreach with, then it'll come back in a good way. One example of this is we do Girl Scout outreach events where we help Girl Scouts get their robotics badges, and we make them as fun as possible. And the girls always seem to have a great time. So much so that we have formed 2 teams solely of Girl Scouts that came to those programs. It's also important to educate your community, educate your community about STEM and FIRST and your FIRST team. but also network. So network with businesses and other, first teams. So what I would argue is the most important part of Motivate is clearly showing the successful recruitment of new teams, mentors, coaches, and volunteers who are not already active within the STEM community. So basically that means growing your team and creating other teams, leaving a legacy, and creating a sustainable program that even after all the members that are on your team right now are gone, will still be around and still be, educating people for years to come. One great way to do this is through FLL mentoring. And if you don't have an FLL team to mentor, find a group of kids who would be interested, maybe through your outreach events, and create an FLL team with them. That's even better than FLL mentoring, is creating an FLL team and mentoring them. And like I said, we do that with our Girl Scouts. We've grown our program from one FLL team and one FTC teams to 10 teams across our 2 FLL teams and all of our FLL junior and FLL teams. Yeah, so that's been really great. And I would recommend you trying to do that too.
The final part about Motivate is that teams can explain how each person individually contributed to like the success of the team. So when you're in your judging presentations, you're going to want to make sure that each person is able to answer almost any question that the judges ask, because it shows that you are a well-rounded team and that it's not one person that's doing it all. And you're also going to want to be memorable in your presentations. Now, this doesn't mean you should sing a song or do a skit. You're going to want to set like a very professional appearance for your team. And so when the judges sing your team, they think and they're like, oh, wow, that was a very professional and remarkable and outstanding team. You're going to want to set that opinion in the judge's mind. And you're also going to want to set a clear team structure in your notebook. So in the top left, we have our structure that we use. The members were from a different year, but we use the same structure this year. So how we have 3 different sub teams, each with a team lead, and then we have one team lead that's overarching over the whole team. And that is the structure that we've always used and we found works really well. Also, when you're doing all of your daily entries and your outreach entries, you're going to want to take pictures of each team member working for the notebook. This is important because it shows how each person is contributing to the overall success of the team. Not only are you saying that, oh, I did this and this person did this, but you're actually showing the different people contributing to the different aspects of the team.
So that was just a couple things that we have learned throughout the years and picked up about the Motivate Award. So in 2019, we won the Motivate Award at Pennsylvania State. And then this year in 2020, we came second in the Motivate Award in Maryland State Championship, right before winning the Connect Award. So we've definitely had a history with this award and we love it very much. So if you ever need to contact us, if you ever have any questions about the Motivate Award or anything else, feel free to contact us throughout the entire season. We would love to hear from you guys and thank you for listening.